Hello everyone. Apologies for the view. However, recently I've been having so much work that I have to record videos late evening or even in the night. Therefore, you will not enjoy the beautiful view. But it is what it is. I will switch on the videos of interesting stones from my recent trip to Chanthaburi city. Please be aware that these are just videos which I made quickly on a market. And the voice is layered over, therefore don't find it to be weird that you can't hear any cars or street noises. They all removed and the video is matched to the new voice recording. It was quite an unusual trip because I have got a few employees who find mining stones to be very romantic and adventurous. So they always beg me to take them with me on the trip, promising to work hard. As they say, be careful with what you wish for. This time I indeed took them with me. Moreover, one of my students from Kiev came. Yes, I do teach about gemstones and mining and everything, but for a very high price. So she also went with us on a trip. But for that lady, the money is not a problem. She is going to launch her own brand. And she has completed quite good gemology course. However, she lacks the real-life practice. So this time I was at the mining accompanied by ladies. And to be honest, I would not recommend to repeat my experience. How did it start? Relying on their enthusiasm, I didn't suppose that I will have to dig at all. Even more, I thought that we'll have so much materials and videos that I will have to run them at the double speed. It doesn't mean that I mind digging myself. I do love that. And I know that you like seeing how the stones come from the ground. However, the ladies were very dedicated. And I hadn't any doubt that they will fulfill their intentions. So in the first day, as soon as we arrived, and I prepared to make the first video, one of my ladies declared that she is not prepared for that, because she hasn't got the proper outfit for the shooting. The rest of ladies were quite alright with that. So we dug a bit, we shot some videos. In the evening, when I sent the videos to them, they returned the furious reply that they forbid me to post any of those. Because they looked terrible on those. In the end, you will also see the videos with cannons, the old ones, and the comment of my good friend and excellent historian Klim. So altogether, this video will consist of two parts. The first one is dedicated to the stones, the second one to some funny lady-style mining, and comments of Klim. So let's start. Here you see just a normal cafe near the highway. Just pay attention how beautiful the green plants are growing there. Not many countries can brag about such a lush and beautiful nature. So this is the stone which I've been looking at for quite some time. This is quartz with rutile inclusions. If I may remind you, rutile is titanium metal. It's interesting that rutile inclusions can form very unique and curious patterns. It looks like characters, sometimes it looks like letters or stars, whatever. This kind of quartz, unlike many other type of quartz, can cost a lot of money, especially if it's a Brazil one, like the one which you see on the video right now. I hope to start making new pieces of jewelry with this unique stone. I think that they will perfectly match our style with black and silver diamonds, for example. To my surprise, I found out that many big brands also started to use that kind of stones. I thought that was only me who began to pay attention to them. Exactly this bunch of stones on the video. They're not too low in price, but not very much exclusive ones. Something average in terms of quality, price and look. However, it still looks quite pretty. So depending on the amount of those inclusions, on their uniqueness, on their brightness, the cost may vary from $20–30 up to $3,000 or $7,000 of dollars. For example, this one bracelet which you see right now cost about $3,500, and I had chances to lay my eyes on bracelets which prices was over $7,000. I plan to include couple of stones like that into our new project with beads. So I guess it will be several pearls accompanied by a cast golden bead and maybe a few rutilated quartz beads. Hopefully in real life it will look the same beautiful as it is now in my imagination. This is our attempt to find the black star sapphires for our clients. I told that it's not an easy task, because there are not many of a decent quality ones black sapphire. Just black sapphires are not rare. We have been given bags full of them, but in most cases the quality is quite miserable. They would usually have quite boring pattern or wouldn't have any pattern or star at all. This is one of our examples how the usual black star sapphire looks like. You can perfectly see on this video what is the problem here. There are a lot of crackles which are going through the whole stone. Therefore, with the first attempt to mount it on a ring or in a pendant, the stone will fall apart. That's why among thousands of black sapphire which were given to us to have a look at, we bought just 4. This is an example of a very expensive, however very boring kind of stone. This is tourmaline Paraiba, and you can obviously see the inclusions which are not a problem here, because Paraiba always have a lot of inclusions. However, the color is quite dull. The next one is also Paraiba, by the way, but greenish one. It still has the right to be called Paraiba tourmaline, because to be called so, it shall satisfy one criteria. It has to contain some copper. And depending on the amount of copper, it will change its color from light blue to turquoise green. I didn't buy this stone because I found that the color is also not quite bright, even though the price was still very high. This pretty guy is a rare thing. It's a polychrome sapphire, however not from Madagascar as we would think. This one is from Chanthaburi. It goes out on the market in a very rare occasions, when its owner really need money, and that happens not often. Because people here are quite wealthy. Unlike Madagascar polychrome sapphires, which might include up to 5 different colors, Chanthaburi polychrome sapphires usually come within one type of color range. At least personally, we haven't seen any exclusions. It's always something between yellow and green, maybe just with a little bit of blue. Both of these stones are very good investment and a reliable form to preserve the money. Both of them are for sale, probably not by the time when you're watching this video, but you always can check the WhatsApp number below the video. This pretty stone is a tourmaline coming in a very unusual hot pink color. Sometimes they're called ruby lights, but that doesn't mean that it's a ruby. It's still a tourmaline. Of course, the cost is a bit higher than some other typical colors of tourmalines. But it's worth of its money because the color is really rich and vibrant. During the whole day spent on the market here, I found only 2 pieces like that. The sapphires of the same color and size would cost you about $40,000, while this guy has got much more reasonable price. This is a sapphire without any chromophores, which actually give a sapphire a color or a hue. Personally, I think that it looks very good, almost like a diamond. And even though it's a corundum, it still shines quite beautifully and bright. For people who dislike too bright colors, it would be a perfect option. You can look up the description with the weight and the price below the video. Because I believe that at the moment of making that video, this stone wasn't sold yet. And meanwhile we encountered this little shop with the local jewelry designed pieces, made in a traditional style with a lot of animal ornaments. Of course the quality is very low, but it's good to have a look at their idea, how do they play with their traditional patterns. Because I intend to create a series of jewelry with those type of patterns and traditional style decorations. So you see again, the beads with animal with stranded wires. So they're not cast as your beads. It's made in a very simplistic way. And here it's very popular Chinese and Thai amulet. You can see low-quality gemstones glazed with usual glass. And inside you can see the rotating mill, which is milling the money non-stop. As most of Oriental talismans or amulets, in my personal opinion, are dedicated to wealth and money. Pay attention to that, the market is still quite alive. I had an expectation that during the COVID time and lockdown, this enterprise would shut down, but as you can see I was wrong. Still there are crowds of people and street food. Here you see the famous durian fruit. There may be just very few foreigners here. Right now in Thailand you still cannot find many tourists. Look what I found here. It's called ammonite. It's fossilized shellfish. So where was I? Yes, Thai people are still trading. Most of the gems are something cheap and low quality. And as there are no foreigners, I believe it's for inner market. Let's have a look what we've got here. Wow, so many perfectly same blue color stones. And relying on their perfect and absolutely identical color and quantity of similar stones, I can say with confidence, all of them are treated, dyed and heated at least. Here we have low-quality corundum, which will be glazed with glass to be sold as a natural one. This dark one will be sold as a sapphire after treatment. Some of them try to sell it just as it is for millions of dollars, showing this bulky piece of a stone as a unique ruby, for example. And this one is a corundum, and this one as well. All of that I wouldn't be able even to call low-quality gemstones, because that are just some stones from the ground. They cost absolutely nothing. This dark brownish color is also not valued anywhere around the world. And this one specifically is mined here. This huge piece, I guess, it's a silimanite. It also will be glazed with glass and probably represented as a corundum. And it also costs no more than any other pebble under your feet. And there are heaps and heaps of such stuff around here. However, to be honest, most of them say honestly that this is a corundum of very poor quality which we're going to treat. At least they don't hide their intentions. Look what I found. I found a noble sapphire. Exactly that kind of stone, if you take it to the laboratory, will be confirmed to be a sapphire. And some dishonest people will try to create a certificate and sell it for a very handsome sum of money. I receive such a generous offer at least once per week. This is also real corundum. Therefore, if you take it to the lab, they will definitely prove that it's a type of a ruby. Even you and I can see the proof of its origin by this specific kind of pattern, which looks like the mountain peaks or triangles. You will find the same on tanzanites in most cases, and on spinel, and this time is an example how does this cobblestone looks after being treated with glass. You can see these bubbles inside, but now it's quite vibrant in color. This piece is less obvious. You can even recognize something like the growth lines or the inclusions, which we expect to see in rubies. However, it's nothing but a glass. Now we're going to have a look at the final version of it, how it looks when it's cut. Just 1 second, I'll have to get rid of my fingerprints on it. So again, if you have got an inexperienced eye, you might be taken in by the inclusions deep inside, under the layer of glass. Look at that type of strings, which you can see if I magnify my camera. Such lines appear when you feel the crackle with glass. So if you see something like that, that is a very reliable proof of the glass. And what we see as a result are those cheap stones mounted into these luxurious rings. Again, the owner of these little shop said honestly in advance that all of that are just cheap stones glazed with glass. And they don't cost much for that reason. However, not everyone would be the same, and many people are happy to trick a naive tourist, or just an experienced man. Some of these pieces would go in the internet shops in different countries, and be sold as a genuine and original gemstones. That looks nice. They refurbished the old house and made a brand new hotel out of it. Good job! 3 years ago, when I made the first video about this place, they have been doing some works in it. Now it has got 3 floors. Here, here, and there. Everything looks very tidy and neat. Just 1 second, I will show you how did it look before. Ah yes, here it is. It was abandoned. Here is the map where it used to be located in ancient times. Some Chinese porcelain collection, probably belongs to the family. I enjoyed my coffee here the other day. It's a very nice place. And those green leaves are alive, it's not just a plastic decoration. Above you can see the windows of the rooms in the hotel, I guess. And here it's a local cafe with traditional meals and bakery.
Опа. สวัสดีครับหอมมากหอมกาแฟอร่อยมากเนี่ย
It smells quite amazingly here. A very seductive aroma of coffee. I actually asked if I'm allowed to make some videos, so I'm not just intruding in a rude way. And here you see the river, which is called Chanthaburi, or Chanthaburi, the way it initially used to be named. It is translated as the Moon City. I finally discovered why the river is called in the name of the city, a moon city to be literally translated. You know that sometimes the highways are called in the name of the city, where do they lead? Here it was absolutely the same. This river used to be the transport lane leading to Chanthaburi city itself. So that is a quite simple explanation. If you see the river which is called Chanthaburi, most probably it will take you there if you follow the stream, because in past times river were the main transport channels, much more important than roads. All the trade and other types of communication have been done through them. Actually, I wanted to stay in this hotel specifically, however it was fully booked. Therefore, I had to stay over there. Here the night costs $30 and it's really cozy and nice inside. Here it's Saturday. Therefore, there is nothing to see, just normal Thai tourists. And I mean that they're really Thai people. And some old town. I actually have the video about that city and its history and architecture. So you'll see it on our channel and you can watch it later. People are basically just hanging around, shopping, gazing and entertaining themselves as they can. This time I'm not on my own, but with ladies by my side. And they're being very ladies indeed. It has been 40 minutes so far, and we haven't made our mind about where to stop and eat. Okay, finally we stopped our choice on this cafe. Let me show you how does it look from inside. Across the river you can see the old abandoned house. Please pay attention to this very unique and beautiful stone. It's a rare sapphire with very distinguished growth lines. It has got a very pleasant combination of violet and pink colors. I suspect it to be from Africa, but that's not for sure. Very interesting stone indeed. Unfortunately, as soon as you get it outside, under natural light, it becomes too dark and the play of color disappears. Therefore, it would be nice to have it for the collection, but not as a gemstone for jewelry. The most expensive stone which I have spotted during this travel so far. It's Paraiba tourmaline, and as I told you, it's totally fine that it's green. Because it's a copper which is providing that range of green and aquamarine type of colors. Of course there's some inclusions, but it's fine for Paraiba tourmalines. It's a really nice stone for a collector or an investor. The color is very unusual and bright. Even here its price is $280,000. I wouldn't be daring to imagine what the price would be in the jewelry shop. I guess it will be at least $200,000 more. Anyway, it's still a good investment. Because according to the statistics, since the last autumn the Paraiba tourmaline price has doubled itself. And this is a very confident tendency which hasn't changed over many years in the past. So the price was growing, is growing, and will be growing in the future, no doubt. It's also a very reliable investment, because there is only one spot in the earth where the mine Paraiba tourmaline in Africa. So as soon as the mine is exhausted, there will be no more like that. This, on the contrary, is the better example of Paraiba tourmaline. It's still expensive, it's still big, but inclusions are making it ugly. They make this stone look grayish. Despite of its drawbacks, the price is the same as for the proper colored one. And I guess sooner or later it will find its buyer. But me knowing how the proper Paraiba tourmaline should look like, wouldn't be him. This one is a very interesting example of a tourmaline, which personally I see alive for the first time in my life. This one exactly has the high concentration of chrome. Even in the certificate from the lab, it's highlighted especially. This video was made in the very gloomy weather, however the color is still bright, almost equally to the same Paraiba tourmalines or African severites. By the way, some of the stones which you see on this video are available for sale, so if you're interested, go and have a look at the description with prices and sizes below this video. This video is made especially for those who are doing our special Gemology course. Dear students, pay attention now. We discussed this in our lessons. So you see the stones are different in size and also slightly different in color. However, the star is almost identical in every single one of them. The brightness of the star and the rays are looking absolutely similar to each other. The question is why? Those who remember the answer can go and get a cookie. Yes, that is an artificial star which was made with the help of titanium. If you insert that metal into the upper layers of sapphire, it creates that star effect. So if you polish this type of sapphire just a little bit, the star will be gone. So basically, these stones cost nothing on its own. I mentioned already that Chanthaburi is the world-known capital of durian. Now we're going to check which nationality fancy durian and which don't. Number 1, Ukraine.
Нет, спасибо.
No, thank you. Kalmykia. Yes, please. Good. Chechnya. Yes, please. Okay. And Russia, which I am from, also don't mind eating durian. Let me show you the views from the hotel. Here we have got a little pretty water pool. But the most important, we have got a view at the Chanthaburi river. Over there it's a city center. We've been there for the first day of our trip. So now we're somewhere at the edge of the city. Therefore, you see it's very green around us. Look what a cute house over there. Thai people can build something unusual or unique sometimes if they really want to. However, in most cases, they stick with the traditional style in architecture. The ladies left to visit the waterfall over there. I have been to it many times so far, so today I decided to stay in the hotel room and work. And later we will go to the market to pick up the stones if we find something suitable. Then we will go to the mining later. Probably we will show you the process of heating of sapphires, but that just maybe, because I'll have to make an arrangement for that. Not everyone agrees to allow to make a video of the process. Everyone believes that they have some precious secrets which they don't want to be revealed to the world. And also here there is the old fort. The last time I didn't show it in my old videos, so I'm going to introduce it this time. We changed our location, left the old city and moved to the new part of it. Here there are lots and lots of fresh built hotels. And the most interesting thing is that the majority of them were built during COVID times, when there were no people at all. So while some tourist companies were going bankrupt, others were building the new hotels. That is a bit weird. Here there are some lounge zones. Also there is a decent restaurant in this hotel. The river looks quite brownish. That is because the climate here is very hot. Therefore all the microorganisms are flourishing, making this look that way. But that also in turn facilitates the agriculture, because all that sludge makes the soil to be very fertile. So we arrive to the gardens, where under the branches of trees you can find sapphires. Look what we have got here. And now our brave ladies are going to mine some of the sapphires. This little fruit is called longan. It's very tasty. It may be a berry, by the way. I don't know for sure. This one is one of my favorite fruits ever, mangosteen. May I remind you that Chanthaburi is supposed to be one of the most fertile places, not just in Thailand. I have been just explaining to my dear ladies how dangerous, risky and stressful the life of gem hunter is. You always have to go to dangerous places like this one, or live your life in hiking conditions like that one, for example. That's why none of us lives long and happy life. The last time I was digging exactly in that hole. However, when I visited some time ago, it was 3 or 4 times smaller. The water down is quite clean. They just pumping it out. Yes, this one will do. This one is not much deep, so you can go down there. Just make sure you drink enough of water, because it will be very hot and stuffy down there. So ladies are going to do the dirty job, and this time I will be just resting and watching them. That was funny. All the way they were asking me when we are going to dig, anticipating the moment when they can actually try it themselves. And now when the moment comes and one of them is refusing to go down because her mascara is leaking and she can't see properly, and another one revealed the phobia of heights. Okay now, take that thing on your right. Okay, now go down on your knees. Yes, I'm not kidding. And now just start hitting the soil. All the pieces which will be falling down, you need to put in a bucket. Yes, you look good. Perfect.
ไม่เป็นไรคุณโยกกระลักคุณนิน
Not so fast. You will worn out yourself quickly. It is better to do it steadily and applying more force with lower speed. How is it down there? Is it hot? That's fine, for the moment. This beautiful lady came from Kiev. She's starting her own brand and arrived to take some lessons and practice with gemstones. Of course, it's not the free option. The next will be our head of manufacturing department. She's from Kalmykia. Don't stop. You'll be able to have a look later. Okay, the next stage. You take the material and put it into bucket. You need to fill it up. Even what falls into water, you need to grab and put it in the bucket as well. I told her that we need to get 10 buckets of mud, and she got very excited. Let's see what she says after the first one. So yes, here they mine the black star sapphire, but mostly of a very low quality. They also get occasionally the blue star sapphire and dark rubies. So basically they mine here corundum, black, blue and red. However, rubies are typically dark. Is it true that we can get anything what we find today here? Yeah, that's true. I guess that's why she agreed to dig the 10 buckets. Well, I suggest to start betting if she's going to ask to climb back after the first or after second. Let's ask if they mine polychrome sapphires here.
เนี่ย sapphire โซนสีเหลืองกับสีเขียวที่นี่ไหม
Oh yes, they said that they occasionally get that polychrome sapphires as well. Did you hear that? Dig harder, the polychrome sapphires are highly valuable ones. But don't get too excited, because the proper quality ones haven't been found for the last 5 years. The bucket is full. Is it full? Okay. Please, record how we're going to lift it up. Okay. Come on. Okay, the first 10% of the job is done. No, please, continue. Go on. Okay, she gave up after the first bucket. No, of course, we understand. So how does it feel down there? Magnificent, almost like a holiday on Maldives. Okay, it's your turn. Oh my god, how do you do that? Just climb down. Oh my god. That is so scary. Okay, our head of the manufacturing department is going to do some dirty work. By the way, any of you know how do they call that thing? We shall ask the locals.
คุณใต้เรียกอะไรรู้ไหมอันนี้อุปกรณ์อะล้อเฟเลโอปล้อ
Моя добыча, моя.
Giuliana firstly has lived in Thailand for 8 years, but then her daughter decided to do the figure skating, so they moved to Moscow, and after 7 years she has returned. Now we are making up some nicknames for all of our team members, so I suggested to give her the local Thai nickname, but she insisted in European style of cool nickname. So let me introduce you, Orientalische Schmetterling. In German it means the Eastern Butterfly. How are you doing, Orientalische Schmetterling? You shall say, ja. You see, she is more professional digger than you. What happened? Did you break your nail? No, I just don't understand in which direction do you dig. So look, the vein goes forward. Giliana says that's a very pleasant mining. And I told her the story, how I found 2 diamonds within 40 minutes, digging the mud not even from the hole, but just from the ground, staying in warm water, which level was no higher than my knees. That's what I call a pleasant mining. Done? So, Orientale Schmetterling decided that she is done for the day as well. Any of you remember how were you begging me to let you dig as long as you can all day and take all what you find with you? Not in the mood of several hours digging anymore? No, that's what I thought. How is it? It's very stuffy and cold and wet there. Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's continue our work. What a pleasant view from my eyes. Beautiful women at work. No, where are you going? You need to pull that cart now. You wanna grab your boots, you just put it on the top of the bucket. Okay, good. Chop chop. Oh my god! They got some spots on their white shoes. Oh my god! That is the catastrophe. We must retreat to the hotel immediately. Do you know the famous photos when the girl is taking your hand, leading you to the beautiful ocean shore, somewhere on Maldives or Bali Islands? So this is our Synergems version of that type of photos. The girl leading you to the forest with buckets of mud in the cart behind her. The path over there. Just follow it. Okay, come on, let's go. The path is right there. Just go straight. Now to the left. Should I turn it? Yes, it's probably better to turn it and push it in front of you. Just go there. Now to the left. Now we arrive to the destination where the ladies are going to wash the material. Just push it a bit more, right there. Now ladies are grabbing the mud in the buckets and getting it washed. Hurry up, ladies! It's good that the weather is not too much hot. Today it's quite cloudy. Okay now, grab that hose and start washing. Do it from that direction. So the point is to wash off all the dirt and clay, leaving only pebbles. Well, I'm so glad to see that you're not just the spoiled Metropolitan Trump. You know, in Africa I would get a lot of cows for you. Yes, they say women for cows. Yeah, wash a little bit more over there. And there as well. Under the hose.
ดื่มที่นี่ได้ไหมดื่มที่นี่ไม่ได้ใช่ไหมดื่มข้างใน
เดินได้ครับ
Okay, now. It's time to have a closer look and see if we got anything at all. Look, we need to check if we get some dark stones with gasoline-like stains. Take off your sunglasses. You won't see anything in it. You will regret this, Konstantin. Okay, look here. What is it? Oh, that's just a leaf. Okay, I guess. We'll just pause our video here. So we found one star sapphire. Of course, the quality is quite low. You cannot do anything with it. However, you still can see the growth line here. And also we found a couple of pieces of onyx and one tiny piece of corundum.
Один кусочек корунда.
Probably if we heat it, it will become blue. But you still won't be able to cut it. Well, who knows? If I had workers who agreed to dig more than a couple of buckets, probably we would get something more interesting. But we will never know. Okay, that's enough. No, give me a few more minutes. A few more? No, that's enough. Stop. Let's go. We looked through all these stones a few times already. Thank you. It was really interesting experience. It's okay. You're always welcome. Oh. Look. That's how the durian grows on a tree. The stinky pride of Thailand. Here you see the rough polychrome sapphires. These are very old because they haven't been mined for many years. My guess that this lot have been here for the last 20 to 25 years. That is very interesting thing. That is the fossilized crab. And you can actually see all the details. That's very cool. Such kind of founds are quite often here, because it used to be the sea in this area where the sapphires were formed. So even better say that initially it was a type of a hill or a mountains, where the sapphires were formed. After that, over thousands of years, it transformed into sea, and sapphires were spread all over the sea bottom. And I'm talking about tens of millions of years. It's not the first fossilized crab I found. I have seen many of them, and not only crabs, but also all different types of sea creatures. We have been discussing just right now how Thai people strive to create a comfortable environment whenever they are. In many other countries, this place would look just like fruit garden with sapphires being mined under the trees. However, here they made a little pretty lounge area and a parking spot. You can see lots of spots where you can just sit and relax. Toilets, showers, all the facilities. A cafe over there. So Thai people try to make what they call a sabai out of anything. Even the mining looks like a retreat resort. They are the only people who make the mining. The field look comfortable because they like to rest, and they're very lazy. A few words about shamanism in real life in Thailand. That is the local little shop, and what do we see there? It's a bear traps, the miniature version of it. It's a very simple one. All you need to do, just put it on the ground with a stick keeping it in the upright position, and then when a bird comes inside, it just pulls a string attached to the stick, and a trap falls captivating the bird. This is a special amulet made of 3 birds. They're believed to enhance your sales skills because they're singing beautifully into the ears of your buyers. This is the fish trap. The fish just gets itself into that and can never find the way out. And over there are the baskets which used to keep the rice. All of that are not just souvenirs, all of them are the special shaman's amulets. They symbolize wealth and lots of food, success and etc. The first one is the hunting luck, the second one is for sales as I told you. Then again about food and then one more about food again. Basically all of them mostly dedicated to the increasing of sales. We arrived to the fort. I'm not going to tell you all the history behind that right now. I will do it a bit later. So first of all, the fort in Chanthaburi is not dated by Middle Age. It is dated by 1834. It was built by the order of the King Rama III to support the advancing of Thai army to Vietnam, which in turn was supposed to prevent Vietnamese people from advancing into Siam. I personally love that kind of places where you can see the combination of a tropical green forest with European architecture. You can see that type of forts in Indonesia, or in Latin America, or in other Asian countries. Today is Monday, so the museum is unfortunately closed. However, I've been there the last time. There's nothing much to see in it. So I'll be showing you the fort itself, which is quite big. I don't know the exact size, but I feel like there are several square kilometers as well at least. And inside on the territory of the fort itself there is a temple. It is the map of the fort which was made from stones. And this long site shall take at least 1 kilometer, as it seems to me. And this is the river itself. You see a lot of branches which are actually making the soil here so fruitful and good for growing the stuff. This river delivered the sludge on the ground here, and the same river brought randomly sapphires from some prehistorical mountain. Here you can see the gates. Most probably that is the modern replica of the old ones. This used to be the lock rampart, enforced with stones. With a lot of stone to be precise, which is highly efficient shield from cannonballs. Look at those beautiful and strong roots of the tree. That's what I was talking about. My favorite combination of nature patterns and European-style ruins. Seems like if you come here to do the photo session, every single shot will be worth to be hanged on the wall. So again, this is the rampart itself with the wall. You can see that the mortar was applied here. So mortar plus lodestones was a very effective defense, as I told you before. And these are the cannons itself. I'm going to ask my friend about them to give some comments. This is not just gun. This is what was called a long gun, a famous English naval gun. It was made in 1791. This generation of guns was called Bloomfield-style cannons. Bloomfield became the director and inspector of artillery in 1780. Since that, he incorporated his system into the artillery on the sea and on earth. But never mind. The interesting thing about that cannon exactly is that little pip at the back, which is called Vanguard. So this one looks like the Armstrong cannon style, while the main body of its cannon is 100% Bloomfield designed. That is quite surprising to see. The marking says the same. You see it says 1791. Then here you see something written in Thai language. Difficult to read though. You also can see the blazon here, and some other symbol looks like a wheel or something. Can't say exactly what it is. Hopefully there are some cannon fans in our audience today. Here you can't see any kind of marks. Everything is eaten by rust. This little baby with the ring near the wingard is typical 18-pounder cannon, the short gun by Bloomfield as well. Made from cast iron and mainly used on sea. Was in use since 1790s. It was made short intentionally to increase the speed of recharging on the deck of the ship or in the fortress. Why the length of the cannon affects the speed of recharging? Because the shorter it is, the less it falls back after the fire. It's easier to handle and it's easier to push back into the position where it's ready to fire. The ring at the back of it is needed to put the ship's rope through it and fix it on a tile. That helps to pull the cannon back into position also much faster. Exactly this type of cannons won the Trafalgar battle. They are all different size. I don't think that this is the original placement. I guess they were put like that only now, in the present days. What does it say? Proof of service, 8 and 4. Don't know what do these numbers mean. 18 PR? Also have no idea what is this. 1812 year, also no idea either. I would guess that these are from Britain, but who am I to judge? And this one also, there are no marks almost. Let's have a look for the last time and go. Why did they put fort exactly here? Because the river was navigable, and here Thai had lots of shipyards, which were creating the ship's military ones as well. Over there, it's in the sea, and those guns were able to reach the target on the sea from this location. You cannot see it now because of the trees. And the guns were put along the walls all the way around. So it was quite well protected just in case. I guess that would be quite enough, because there are many other cannons here. But they will all look approximately the same. You see, there are more over there. All of them are different in sizes, so my guess is that they were gathered here from different places, just to be displayed. Okay, just let me adjust my camera. That fort was built 10 years after the famous agreement between Siam and Great Britain. It was 1824. The British side was represented by Mr. Byrne, who represented East India Company. According to this agreement, Siam was obliged to support Great Britain in the war against Burma. And after that, Siam got a very generous load of cheap artillery from Great Britain. Because in the 1830s, all the guns which you see there were already way too much old-fashioned. And actually no one else would use them in a real battle. If all of them were delivered to this fort by English during that period of time or not, I cannot tell for sure. Because nowadays at that location you'll find the center of the sea and underwater archaeology. So I suspect that lots of stuff found in relation to that is just brought there. I can tell for sure just one thing, that they just couldn't be in that fort since the middle of the 19th century altogether, just because the state is saying that the cannons have been kept in different conditions all that years. So my personal conclusion is that it's very nice place, definitely worth of your attention, just to come and see it. Maybe have a little bit of walk around here. I wouldn't be able to say about the local museum. The museum is quite useless. So I wouldn't say that it would be a good idea to spend 3 or 4 hours of driving just to get there. But the fort looks amazing. So that's it for today. Enjoy your day and see you the next time.